I'm Jennifer Hoy, I'm 29 and I'm an orchestral musician. I'm a first violinist in the Sydney Symphony Orchestra, that's my full-time position, and that involves rehearsal and performance mainly at the Sydney Opera House, but we also travel around New South Wales and sometimes overseas on a really good year. And in addition to that, I also have some students at the Sydney Conservatorium. And most of my work involves rehearsal and performance, and we work on a fairly tight schedule in terms of the ratio of rehearsal to concert. So we would rehearse for 2 days and then perform 3 or 4 times in that week. So that's a lot of performances compared to a lot of other orchestras. And then on top of that, there's elements of preparation and practice that we all do individually. And so the teaching is something that fits in around that. I teach about 5 hours a week, usually. I have a really wide range of students. I have little ones, beginners, who are very cute, and then I have some high school students and all the way up then to tertiary education and performing students. You did something funny with the bowing, so just make sure that you do the phrase. I started learning the violin when I was 4, and it was always just something that I guess was part of my childhood, and because it was part of my routine, I didn't really think about ever not doing it. And then when I left school, I was a student at the Sydney Conservatorium of Music, and I did my bachelor degree there, and then some study overseas, and then I was lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time to audition for the orchestra. So yeah, I don't think I ever knew that my career would definitely be as a musician. I think in some ways that's a dangerous thing to imagine, because you set yourself up for a lot of disappointments because it's very competitive, and it can be something that you fall out of love with along the way, and that can be temporary or it can be permanent. As far as practice goes, it's everything. To be doing it regularly and in a committed fashion, you need to be spending a couple of hours a day once you're past that intermediate level. And yeah, there's no way out of it. If you're not practicing, you're not developing. I think if people are interested in pursuing this kind of a career, they need to recognise that music's a great thing, and it's fun and it's creative, but it also demands a lot of discipline. And people can be really talented and they can really want to do it, but unless they put in the time and they're really organised and they have clear priorities, then it's not going to happen, because you can work really, really hard and come along at the wrong time for an opportunity, or you can be there at the right time. So there is a degree of luck, and you have to be prepared for that. But you also have to realise that unless you're consistently committed, it's not going to happen, and every single little thing that you do, you have to do to the best of your ability, because you just never know when that's going to be your opportunity. The SSO audition process is pretty rigorous, and opportunities come up by way of people retiring or moving on to another job, and basically you have to wait until a vacancy occurs in the orchestra. It doesn't matter how good you are, if there's not a job for you, you don't have an opportunity. So I was fortunate enough for a vacancy to come along at the right time for me. It's for life. It's a job for life. I think I'm very lucky to have my job. I certainly appreciate that we're privileged to be able to do what we really love doing for our profession. The boring bits of my job would probably be sometimes the practice. I've never been a big fan of practice, so it's constantly amazing that I've stuck with it this long. And then sometimes you get a program that maybe is not filled with your favourite music, or you've got to work with a conductor that's not your favourite conductor. But as I said, the ups and downs are part of having any job, I guess, and usually the pros outweigh the cons. The best bit about my job is being able to work with people who you've respected for a long time, and that's a great thrill. It's good to do concerts with just first-rate artists. That's really exciting. The other thing that I really love is that there's just no routine, that every week is different, and if there's something that you don't like about your job, it's usually gone in a few days. So if there is a program that's bad, it's out of your life by the weekend, and then you're onto something else. As far as the future's concerned, I still feel like I'm learning a lot in my job. I've been there for 5 years, and it's been a steep learning curve, and there's parts of it that I feel settled in now, but still new repertoire, new things, new experiences. So for the moment I'm happy here, but I'll wait and see.